Willie D live.
What's up, family? New rules. You cannot criticize Donald Trump, your president. Yeah, fam, they are pushing towards legislation to make it illegal to criticize Donald Trump. Yeah, they got Republicans out there trying to push legislation forward to make it illegal to criticize Donald Trump. And you wonder why some call him a fascist. You wonder why they call him a dictator wannabe. So you can't call him a dictator, you can't call him a fascist, you can't call him dumb, you can't call him an essayer, you can't call him a racist, you can't call him Cheeto Man, nothing. They're trying to shut it down, fam. You know, they came after him and his wife, came after Jimmy Kimmel again. They're trying to seriously get ABC to fire Jimmy Kimmel. And they're also trying to get other networks to fire those reporters and those commentators and analysts and pundits who they do not like. Yeah, fam. Yeah. It's a cold game, man. It's a cold-blooded game. Check this out. This is his press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, sucking up as usual. Now, remember, this is the same administration that will call others any kind of name, and they're critical of everything. But now that the criticism is heavily layered against them, now they're crying foul. They're playing the victim. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. Ooh, man. Talk about buttercups. Check it out.
Just from the rhetoric, you mentioned the First Lady and Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel's comments were, "Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow." And he said this days before the shooting, but there does seem to be
That's Aisha Hasney. She's with Fox.
A normalization of rhetoric about assassinating this particular president. How can this administration try to put an end to this?
Well, I think you heard it directly from the president on Saturday night, Aisha, that in his words, we need to recommit ourselves as a country to toning down the rhetoric and to unifying around what makes our country great. That's true of everyone who works in this White House, but as I said, it's also true of everyone who has a voice and a platform across this country, whether you're on television, a podcast host, people listen. And when you have mentally disturbed individuals across the country who are listening to this crazed rhetoric about the president day after day after day, it inspires them to do crazy things. And unfortunately,
let's stop right there. Mentally insane people out there, they're crazy. And when you got this crazy rhetoric, it inspires them to do crazy things. Do y'all remember when Biden was in office and Obama was in office and these MAGA people were saying all this crazy stuff, when Trump was saying all this crazy stuff and Fox News was saying all of this crazy stuff and trying to get people to hate Haitians because they were eating animals, allegedly. They're trying to get them to turn on black folks because they're taking their jobs. It's everybody's fault but the Republicans. It's everybody's fault but the right. It's everybody's fault but the accuser's own, right? It's everybody's fault but the accuser's own. They are the authors of chaos. They are the authors of criticism. That's all they do, even now. I'm sure, go to Truth Social today and you'll see Trump criticizing somebody. This is all they do. But they don't want the criticism to come back on them. They want to hold criticism on lock. They want to put it on lock, and it's a game that only they can play. It don't work like that.
It's not just the media, it is the entire Democrat Party has made their pitch to voters across the country that Donald Trump poses an existential threat to democracy, that he is a fascist, and that they compare him to Hitler. I mean, these are despicable statements that the American people have been consuming for years. And so many mentally perturbed individuals are led to believe these words are truth and then are inspired to act on it. I have a whole host of examples that we can share with you after. It is pages and pages of major Democrat Party elected officials saying, such as Rep. Hakeem Jeffries just this April, this month, said, "We are in an era of maximum warfare everywhere all the time." Governor Josh Shapiro said heads need to roll within the administration. Senator Alex Padilla said people are, quote, dying because of fear and terror caused by the Trump administration. Senator Elizabeth Warren, President Trump is making the country look like a, quote, fascist state. Senator Adam Schiff saying President Trump using a dictator playbook. Senator Ed Markey calling President Trump a dictator, saying that this administration's actions are authoritarianism on steroids. Governor J.B. Pritzker, never before in my life have I called for mass protest disruptions. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. You have Rep. Presley saying, "We'll see you in the streets." Rep. Monica McIver, a Democrat representative on Capitol Hill, "We will not take this shit from Donald Trump. He thinks he's a dictator. We are at war." These are Democrat elected officials calling for war against the President of the United States and his supporters. I could go on and on, but again, when you have people in positions of power that are saying things like this every single day for years, you are inspiring violence by people who are already mentally ill. And that's what we've seen against this president for far too long.
This is disinformation and misinformation online. There will be bite-sized clips that will go viral to the point where there are Americans in this country that believe that what happened Saturday night was staged. How does this White House tackle that with social media companies out there, whether it's X, Facebook, Instagram? How do they work with these companies to make sure that doesn't get out of control?
It's certainly a good question, Aisha. I don't have tangible answers for you on.
Let me just say Aisha is a mole. She's bought and paid for.
What we're doing with social media companies, if anything at all. What I will say is it's very important to us that we get the truth and the facts about this case and any case out there as quickly as possible to dispel some of that crazy nonsense that you do see running rampant online. And I think the Department of Justice and the FBI thus far have done a good job of disseminating the truth and the facts about this alleged attempted assassin, the perpetrator in this case, and I understand he'll be arraigned in court very soon. You all see that, and the Department of Justice will be giving a briefing and an update later today. So as far as we're concerned, just providing maximum transparency, and hopefully people will believe the truth rather than the lies and the conspiracies that so often do go crazy on social media. Rachel.
Thanks, Caroline. Does the administration view this as a security failure, or did the protocols work as they were designed?
The president has said he believes that the protocols worked. Again, you had a perpetrator who tried to breach the security parameter.
We can stop right there, fam, because the lies are it's just very difficult to continue to listen to that, man, because the hypocrisy, fam, and this is not hyperbole, you know, this administration, they just have a tendency to create chaos and play the victim. Check this out, family. So these are some of the situations where Republicans have made really dangerous comments aimed toward the left. And oftentimes, you know, these unhinged people that they're talking about right now, they're listening, and sometimes they take action based on what these type of people say. Now check this out. So you had, following July 2024 assassination attempt on Trump, you had several Republicans who blamed Biden, with Representative Mike Collins of Georgia tweeting that Butler County DA should file charges against Joseph R. Biden for inciting an assassination. Representative Lauren Boebert, Republican, stated, I do believe that Joe Biden is responsible for the shooting today, but it gets worse. The rhetoric is about to pick up right here. Now watch this. Senator Ted Cruz, who's a Republican in Texas, described the Biden administration as power-hungry, abusive, totalitarian nitwits, and told activists to grab a battle axe and fight the barbarians. See, that little stuff that they were just saying ain't nothing. They're grasping for straws. That's just regular criticism. These people were calling for violence. The president of Heritage Foundation, Kevin Roberts, stated that the Second American Revolution would only be bloodless if the left allows it to be. In other words, dog whistling to the people, to their constituents, to, hey, look, man, if they don't do what we want them to do, there will be blood. Representative Boebert shouted, you put them there, 13 of them regarding the Afghanistan withdrawal during Biden's 2022 State of the Union address. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, now you know how uncivilized she is, Republican Georgia, previously responded to a Facebook comment suggesting that she was setting the stage for hanging Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Those are direct threats on the president's life. That ain't just rhetoric. Those are direct threats. That is a direct threat. Donald Trump has suggested the Obama administration should be executed for treason. He said that they should be executed for treason. Several Republican officials and supporters, including Donald Trump, promoted the birther conspiracy theory, which was described by researchers as aggressive, anti-Obama, and a reactionary social movement that often used dehumanizing language. Many Republicans describe Biden's presidency as the end of America, using language suggesting that if Democrats win, we probably won't have a country left anymore. Representative Elise Stefanik of New York, Republican, I believe I'm saying her name correctly, and others have frequently accused Biden administration of weaponizing the DOJ, the FBI, and fueling rage among constituents. Weaponizing the DOJ and FBI? Weaponizing? How about owning the DOJ and FBI? Like totally controlling it. Not weaponizing it, controlling it. An Ohio state senator said at a 2024 campaign rally, if we lose this one, it's going to take a civil war to save the country. Now that is dangerous rhetoric. That is warlike rhetoric. That can make the crazies snap and go start killing everything. The hypocrisy is next level, man. Let's see what the Democrats do this time, because the Democrats, they just are always playing defense. Very seldom do I see them on the offense. The Republicans, time and time again, boy, they know how to create a narrative. They know how to spin the narrative. They are experts at it. And when they spin the narrative, oftentimes the Democrats are extremely late in their response. This is the part that I don't get with them. They got the same resources that the Republicans got. What they don't have is the disco balls. No more talk.